Hi everyone, we are going to make a very simple snack that we can also meal prep and have in the freezer. All you gotta do is defrost it a little bit for when you're going to have, when you're going to eat it. Super easy to make, under 100 calories. It's going to be mostly protein, and guess what it is? Nutella. You like Nutella? You like that chocolatey stuff on bread and all that? We're going to make a protein one. So this is 100 calories for just this snack. I like to eat it by itself, but you can totally use it as your Nutella on toast. Make it into a meal, however you want to have it. You can have a whole meal of Nutella. Yeah, you can. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to start with half a cup of Greek yogurt, and we're going to flavor that up with some protein powder and some extracts and some of that sugar-free Torani syrup stuff. So we'll get our Greek yogurt. Okay, so we've got our little half a cup, because I'm gonna make two. That way I can have one for later. One for me, one for you. Not for you, for me later. We've got that, and we're gonna add our protein powder. I'm trying to find the top to my thing. There it is. Put this in the fridge. Okay, so we're taking a quarter of the serving from our protein stuff. So that would be about half of that, and quarter. Putting it into our stuff here. You could also measure it by weight, but I'm not gonna do that. Although it might be easier to weigh it because I'm so OCD that I'm like sitting there like, is that exactly a quarter? But anyways, you take a quarter of your protein powder and put it in there. Be careful when you start to mix that because it can fly at you. So be gentle when you're gonna put it into the Greek yogurt. That way it doesn't just explode and poof all over the place. So we'll mix it in. And we're gonna add more stuff to this. We're gonna add some cacao powder, or not cacao, cocoa powder. Sometimes I use cacao, but today we're gonna use cocoa. We're gonna use half a tablespoon of cacao powder or cocoa powder. This is gonna be really decadent. So, when I mean chocolatey, it's going to be chocolatey. Next is the other half tablespoon for the other one. And this can help you out a lot when you're making something. Just go ahead and make another one. That way you have it for another time. You don't have to sit there meal prepping 20 meals. You can just do one and then freeze it. And you don't have it till, a while later. That way you're not eating the same stuff every day. I don't like to do that. I like to have a variety of food. So on Mondays and Tuesdays, I do kind of eat similar. I wouldn't say it's the same thing because I do change up the flavors, but it's the same base or whatever. And that's why I was doing this one for you guys to see, because I've already done the French toast, so you guys don't need to see that again. Maybe later you'll see it again. But this was going to be my snack for tomorrow, and I was like, man, I might as well make it, and I might as well make another one. That way I'm ready for another time. And a tool that I use is that I just on my schedule, I just write down something that, seems like I would want to have that day. You don't have to do that, but it does help you kind of just not have to be thinking about what you're going to eat that day, and you're not on the spot. You kind of already know, you already have it in your mind what's going to happen, and it's just a tool. Even though it sounds like it would be extra work, it really isn't. Every time you go to the bathroom and you sit there scrolling on your phone, that's an opportunity to just sit there and go, well, what would I like to have on Wednesday? Put it in there. You got your phone right on you. All that is the opportunity to do that. So, look how thick and chocolatey that is getting. Look at this. And we're not done yet. I'm going to mix my other one, and then we'll progress on to adding a little more flavoring to it, because we're going to make it Nutella. And I'm not gonna be chinky on this. I'm not gonna say put chocolate in there and then you're done. No, I'm bougie and I'm gonna make it super fancy and make it super good. Okay, so I've got the other one mixed up. Now you could totally just do that. But I want it to taste good. I want it to really represent what I'm replacing, you know, because that's what's gonna make my life happy, rather than just changing it out for something that's, you know, not all the way there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a few things. Not very difficult. Again, these are, you could leave it like that and just add some sweetener and be done. But it's not exactly perfect, you know? And like I said, I like things to be nice. So we're gonna add a little bit of these syrups, sugar-free Torani syrups. I love these things. I use them in all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna use just a little bit of the chocolate on one and the other. Not very much, because again, we already have chocolate in there. It's mostly for the sweetness, and be aware of sweetness. Don't go too far, because we're gonna add a little more from other stuff that's sweet. And it just, you don't wanna change the taste from it actually being the cocoa. A little bit of hazelnut, because that's what those Nutellas are, right? Hazelnut and chocolate. There we go. Just the teeniest bit of chocolate extract. Again, we don't need very much because we already have chocolate in there, but that's going to give us a little flavor, a little more depth, because we have that Greek yogurt and it has that acidity flavor. And here's a trick: if you ever over flavor something with an extract and you get that like weird alcohol-y kind of taste, baking soda will change the pH and it'll trick your brain into not tasting that. So there's a trick for you. A little bit of vanilla, because vanilla is an enhancer for chocolate. So that's why they always put vanilla on things that are chocolate. It enhances the flavor. And if you've ever paid attention to like those nature shows or whatever, the vines of vanilla grow on the cacao trees. So it's almost like they're partners, you know, they're meant to be together. All right, so we've done that. A little bit of maple syrup, the tiniest bit. Again, this is just to enhance the depth of it, of chocolate. So little drop there, little drop here. Because again, we're just trying to enhance it. We already have it. Now we just want to really wake up our mind and feel it. So another thing, salt. Gonna add some salt. Get our mind to really get that flavor. Little bit of my fancy Mediterranean salt. I really like once it's already good to go. Sometimes I even add this just on top, just because it's the first thing that hits my tongue, and that's pretty good. So cinnamon, not too much. I accidentally put too much on that one. But like Mexican chocolate always has like cinnamon and a little bit of cayenne. And it does like a weird trick to your tongue. So very little. It's not to taste the cayenne. It's to enhance the chocolate. So just a little sprinkle of that. And then, because of the cacao being such a strong cocoa, I keep saying cacao, such a strong cocoa, and we put so much in there, we're gonna add a little bit of stevia. Not very much, because I don't want it to mess with our tongue. I want it to still feel like that Nutella, that thickness. And sometimes when you add these sugars that aren't sugar, it sends some weird, like when you're tasting it, just feels weird, right? This is really good. This is that better stevia. You can hardly taste this at all. Because I've got the other stevia, that's this kind. And this one, if you add too much, you do kind of like notice it. But not very much. And again, you don't use that much. And what we're trying to do is keep ourselves healthy. So we gotta figure it out. So I'm gonna start with just a couple drops and then taste as I go. You know, just give it a little dab to taste it. Remember not to taste everything all the time because you're putting calories in your body if you're doing that, you know? So wipe it off or throw it out. Unless you're gonna eat that, then go ahead. You know, don't be a weirdo, but I'm just telling you, like if your husband is like, here, have a bite, that's extra calories. Just be aware of that. I realized when my husband went off for vacation one time, I was like, oh my gosh, I was eating terribly just because he was around. He had pizza and stuff like that. The kids, the dino nuggets and all that. It's trash. Don't put that in your body. You're not a trash can. Don't eat the leftovers. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. You can save things for later. If you have enough and you're done, you can save it for later. We need to move from that mentality and shift it into a cleaner mentality of what we actually need to do. The last little flavor enhancer, and this is a new one that I just learned about, and we're going to use very little, is a little bit of decaf instant coffee, just a sprinkle in there. Again, this is to deepen that coffee, or I'm sorry, that chocolate taste, because it's interesting. Everything is all chemistry, right? Chemistry in your mind, body, everything. So lots of signals to tell you how deep and chocolatey this is going to be, rather than it just being chocolate, you know? It's like the difference between having, like, I don't know if you've ever had a Carlo's 5 and having a Hershey's Kiss. Totally different. One's not that good and one's pretty good. Or like, if you're not Mexican, you might not know what that reference would be. So it's like saying a Hershey's chocolate versus a Lindt chocolate or a Ghirardelli chocolate. You know, there's gonna be some differences there. I don't like it when they make chocolate and it just tastes like chocolate with sugar. Like, it's even kind of grainy sometimes. Like, what is that? That's not good. And those really fancy ones, they use that cacao butter. Like, that's why it's so freaking decadent. We don't need to have those all the time, but those are pretty darn good. That. I think it needs a little more salt. So don't go overboard on the sweetener. And you can have your little chocolate be nice and deep. And if you like it more sweet, then go ahead and do it more sweet. Your taste buds, not mine, right? We all have different. There we go. Molto buono. All right. Check this out. I'm gonna give this one a mix. And that one should be done too. So now I've got 2 snacks under 100 calories. And I can freeze them and then just thaw it out whenever I want it. You can have it more towards the cold and it'll be more like a fudge ice cream kind of thing. Or let it come to room temperature and make it super fudgy. I just like mine refrigerated, maybe a little bit in the freezer, but not much, because one time I froze it and I didn't like that too much. But look at this. Look at this thickness. Look at that. That's your Nutella. And if you want to use it for a meal, you could absolutely do that. There's no sugar in here. It's all protein. It's all Greek yogurt. This whole thing you could eat. This whole thing I'm gonna eat. This is my whole snack. The last thing I'm gonna do is add just a little bit of almonds. Sliced almonds, a little more than a 1/4 teaspoon. So measure out my little teaspoon. Whoop. And you just put it on top, make it all cute like. See? Put it on my other one, and look at that. I have 2 beautiful Nutella bowls. And like I said, We've got 100 calories in there, and we have half a cup of Greek yogurt, so that means we have 12 grams of protein right there. So 12 grams of protein. Oh wait, when we added protein powder, so let's see. We have 22 divided by 4. What is that? And again, always have your little tools around. 22 divided by 4, 5. And then we said we had the 12, right? That's 17.5 grams of protein in this. There is not really any fat because we have the almonds, we have a little bit. The cacao is our carb, you know. There's 1 gram of carb in there. This, not very much carb either. It only has 3 calories for the full serving. We only did 4. So this is basically just all protein. So you could take this, put it on toast, and you got your carb. And you could even add more nuts, and you got your fat, and make it up to 300, whatever your personal self-calorie thing is. Mine's under 300. A toast is 45 calories. Another toast, 45, 90. That's 190. What else can you add? Another bunch of nuts, another 40 calories. So about 240 there. Add some strawberries. I mean, you can make this into a meal. And you can have Nutella for a meal, a snack, whatever you want, under 300 calories, protein rich, delicious nutrish. Hope you enjoy. Good night. Good night. It's morning. Have a good day.